Monday night crew. It's been entirely too long. And I'm so excited to be back here with you today and with my wonderful teachers. Today we have Kat, who will be teaching us all about crystals, and Julie is our wonderful co-host. And I'm Megan, and we're we're the Academy of Logic and Light, and we're a community education platform that provides a safe space for people to practice their spirituality without being indoctrinated. We have monthly meetups, both in person and online. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and we have a Facebook page, all under the same name, Academy of Logic and Light. You can also find us on Patreon if you like what we're doing. You want to support us over there, or just follow along with our journey, you can. And if you're interested in teaching with us, reach out on social media. We have Kat, who's going to be teaching today, and I'm so excited for her to share her wealth of knowledge. And I'm so excited to take a unique look on crystals. And what did we decide? Crystal series. This is our crystal series. It's Monday nights, and we'll be kind of rolling with this for a while, just like we were with our astrology. So we're excited to have y'all here and excited to be bringing some fun new content and growing. So I'm so glad again that everyone's here. I'm just excited. It's been a minute. I do want to talk about, we're doing a full moon virtual full moon get together next tomorrow. I was like, next day. No, tomorrow. And I'll kind of be guiding us through some stuff over on that as well. So we'd love to have you pop by. It's at 7:00 as well. It is done over Zoom, so we can have a little bit of participation. And so I hope that we'll see you there. You can find it. It's a Facebook event, or you can also find us on Eventbrite and sign up and get the information sent over to you for that. So, yay. Well, that's my spiel. Welcome everybody. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, and we'll do our best to kind of watch them and answer them as they come up. And then maybe by the end, if Kat has time, we can kind of answer questions too that way. So yay. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you I'll see you tomorrow for sure. And maybe next week. Thanks guys. Have fun.
Thanks, Megan. Hi everybody. I'm Kat. I haven't done one of these Monday evening live events before, so I'm super excited to get into this. I think like a lot of people that are into crystals, it starts as a kid collecting rocks wherever you go and just having them. But I think that my deep dive into crystals happened, it's probably been about 15 years now, I think, since I went through my first crystal healing course. And of course, like most people that are probably watching this, you kind of just fall in love, and then you go way into it and you buy all the things, and then you reach a point where you're like, okay, we need to calm down.
They feel so good though.
They do. It's so pretty. Hard, and they're so pretty. Yeah.
My first house in Salt Lake City was moving here and was next to a crystal shop, and that was when I dove headfirst, and all my paychecks went to that.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
It was.
Yeah. Part of my favorite thing about crystals actually is the history of crystals. Next week, I'm going to get into the science of crystals, which is also super fascinating. But the cool thing about the history of crystals is obviously they're created deep within the earth, and happen all over the planet. So they're somewhat unifying in that way, but also independent of each other. Every ancient culture throughout history used and revered crystals in some way, and still do today. I mean, obviously, we still do today. And it's kind of an interesting thing to me, because when you learn about the history of crystals and the uses throughout different cultures, it really brings back, I think, why we feel so called and connected to them as humans, in general. And also, for me at least, it brings back a lot of the reverence that goes with what you should be taking into account, in my opinion, when you are buying and using crystals, aside from the fact that they're way cute and fun. So, like, if you think back into ancient times, they couldn't just go to a crystal shop. They didn't have any of these things, right? They had to find them. And so it didn't happen often. And so it kind of added to the allure of what they were and how powerful they could be, because they weren't common, you know, in every house and all over the place like they are today. So anyway, I thought it would be really interesting and fun to kind of go through the different cultures throughout the world and touch on how they were used, what common crystals in each culture were, and just some like interesting little tidbits. So if anybody has any questions along the way, or anything that you want to add that I may not be aware of or didn't add in my notes, then please feel free. So the ancient Sumerians and Egyptians were among the earliest civilizations to document crystal use. The ancient Sumerians. Oh, we're also going to touch on amethyst at the end of my little history spiel and kind of do a deep dive into amethysts. All right. The ancient Sumerians, who inhabited the region of Mesopotamia, which is now modern-day Iraq, around 4000 to 2000 BCE. The exact details of the Sumerians' beliefs and practices regarding crystals are not fully understood, but archaeological discoveries and textual evidence suggest that minerals and crystals played a significant role in their culture, spirituality, and worldview. As one of the earliest known civilizations, the Sumerians laid the foundation for many subsequent civilizations in the region, influencing the development of art, religion, and technology. Crystals and minerals likely held symbolic significance for the Sumerian, who incorporated them into religious ceremonies, rituals, and magical practices. They believed in the existence of divine forces and sought to harness the power of those forces through rituals involving offerings, prayers, and symbolic objects, including crystals. Lapis lazuli was believed to be highly prized by ancient Sumerians for its deep blue color, which they associated with the heavens and the divine. It was one of the earliest gemstones to be mined and traded, with sources located in present-day Afghanistan. Sumerians used lapis lazuli in jewelry, amulets, and religious artifacts, often carving it into intricate shapes or inscribing symbols and designs into its surface. Carnelian, which is the middle one that you see there, is a reddish-orange variety of chalcedony and was also valued by the Sumerians for its vibrant color and perceived protective properties. It was often used in amulets and seals, engraved with symbols or figures believed to offer protection against evil forces and promote good fortune. Gypsum, which is a soft sulfate mineral, was commonly found in the region and may have been used by the Sumerians for various purposes, including as a material for seals, figurines, and decorative objects. While not technically a crystal, it is in the same sense as a quartz or amethyst. Gypsum is readily available and could have been used in religious rituals as a symbol of purity. The interesting thing about gypsum is that it's what's oftentimes what is put into wall boards. So gypsum is probably in every house in at least the West for sure, which is kind of cool when you think about it in that context, that ancient Sumerians used gypsum as well.
That is cool. And I've never heard of that one. The first two were my first crystals, because lapis lazuli is also mined in Chile, like oddly enough. And carnelian was the first crystal that was recommended me to buy at a crystal store.
Oh, nice. How funny.
Yeah. I know, so random.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was old school.
Yeah. All right. The ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians held crystals in high esteem, believing in their protective and healing properties. These vibrant gemstones, such as lapis lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian, adorn the jewelry of both royalty and commoners, but they were more than just decorative accessories. They were believed to bring good fortune and safeguard the wearer from harm. Amulets and talismans engraved with divine symbols and inscriptions were commonly worn as symbols of protection and divine favor. These sacred objects, often adorned with crystals, were thought to ward off evil spirits and ensure safe passage to the afterlife. Crystals played a pivotal role in religious rituals and ceremonies, with priests and priestesses wielding crystal-tipped wands to channel divine blessings and healing energies. These rituals were a means of communicating with the gods and goddesses, harnessing the power of crystals to invoke their favor. Crystal healing was also prevalent in ancient Egypt, where stones like quartz and amethyst were used to alleviate physical ailments and promote spiritual well-being. Crystals were placed on the body or used in massage therapy to balance the body's energy centers. Crystals were not only used for healing, but also for divination purposes. Techniques such as scrying using crystal balls, polished gemstones, and mirrors allowed practitioners to gain insight into the future and communicate with the spirit world. In the realm of alchemy and mysticism, crystals were believed to possess transformative powers and spiritual enlightenment. Alchemists sought to unlock the secrets of the universe by harnessing the energies of crystals to transmute base materials into higher forms of existence. Certain crystals were associated with specific deities and cosmic forces. For example, turquoise was linked to the goddess Hathor, who embodied love, beauty, and fertility, while lapis lazuli was associated with the heavens and divine wisdom. Okay. Similarly, ancient China incorporated crystals like jade into traditional medicine and feng shui practices, attributing them with energetic properties to balance the body's qi and harmonize living spaces. Jade, which is a gemstone that is revered for its symbolic significance and healing properties, in ancient China was more precious than gold and symbolized purity, balance, and harmony. It adorned ornaments, figurines, and ceremonial objects, embodying the ideals of longevity and vitality. In traditional Chinese medicine, quartz, jade, and other crystals were believed to balance the body's vital energy, known as qi, promoting physical and emotional well-being. They were incorporated into ancient healing practices to restore harmony and health. In feng shui, the ancient art of harmonizing living spaces, crystals played a vital role in balancing energy flow, or qi. Quartz and jade were strategically placed in homes and temples to enhance positive vibrations and create harmonious environments, which most of the people that I know also do this, including myself. Putting crystals in specific corners of your house can change the flow of the energy. We will cover that a little bit more when we get into the class about grids and gridding. So that would be cool. In Chinese mythology, dragons symbolize power, strength, and good fortune. Crystals often carved in the shape of dragons were believed to harness the energy and bring protection and prosperity to the wearer. Crystals were used in various spiritual practices in ancient China, including scrying, meditation, healing rituals, and divination to enhance psychic abilities and facilitate spiritual connections. Some of the most prominent ones include quartz crystals, which were highly revered for their ability to enhance psychic powers and spiritual connections. They were often used in divination practices and meditation to clear the mind and promote spiritual clarity. Jade was considered a powerful stone for promoting wisdom, balance, and harmony, believed to enhance spiritual connection and facilitate communication with the spiritual realm. Amber was prized for its ability to purify energy and dispel negative influences. It was often worn as an amulet to protect against psychic attacks and promote spiritual growth. Lapis lazuli was associated with the heavens and was believed to promote spiritual enlightenment and inner peace. It was often used in meditation practices to deepen spiritual connection and enhance psychic abilities. Obsidian is revered for its grounding and protective properties, and it is believed to have shielded against negative energies and psychic attacks while also promoting spiritual growth and self-discovery. Beyond their metaphysical properties, crystals were admired for their beauty and craftsmanship in ancient China. Intricately carved crystal sculptures adorned palaces, temples, and imperial gardens, showcasing the artisan's skills and reverence for these natural treasures. Okay, moving right along. Crystals played a multifaceted role in the cultures of ancient Greece and Rome, from spiritual and religious practices to everyday uses such as adornment and healing. They were believed to possess magical powers and were incorporated into various aspects of life to promote well-being, protection, and spiritual connection. Both ancient Greeks and Romans highly prized amethyst for its believed ability to prevent intoxication. The word amethyst itself comes from the Greek word amethystos, meaning not drunken. It was often worn as jewelry or used in drinking vessels to ward off drunkenness and promote sobriety. Clear quartz was believed to be solidified water and was called crystallos in ancient Greece, which is where we get the common word crystal that we use today. Hematite, derived from the word blood, was used by Greek soldiers for protection in battle. Clear quartz were widely used in ancient Greece and Rome for their purported healing properties. They were believed to promote physical health, clarity of the mind, and spiritual growth. Quartz crystals were also used in divination practices and as offerings to the gods. Obsidian, which is volcanic glass, held special significance in ancient Rome for its use in making mirrors. These mirrors were believed to have magical properties and were used in divination rituals to see into the future and communicate with the spirit world. Can you imagine a mirror made out of obsidian? That would be amazing.
I would die to see that.
Yeah. Lapis lazuli was highly valued in ancient Rome for its deep blue color, which symbolized royalty and divine favor. It was often used in jewelry, amulets, and religious artifacts to promote prosperity, protection, and spiritual enlightenment. Emeralds were considered sacred stones in ancient Greece and Rome and associated with the goddess Venus or Aphrodite in Greek mythology. They were believed to symbolize love, fertility, and rebirth. Emeralds were often worn as jewelry or included in burial rites to ensure the deceased's safe journey to the afterlife. Jasper and hematite were other. Say that again.
If I was going to be buried, I'd want to be buried with crystals, for sure.
Yeah.
But don't bury me.
Just put me in the ground. It's fine.
Yes, please.
Okay. Jasper and hematite were other popular stones in ancient Greece and Rome. Jasper was prized for its earthy colors and believed protective properties, and was often carved into amulets, talismans, and seals to ward off evil spirits, bringing luck and to promote physical strength and endurance. While hematite was said to guard soldiers during battle and was prized for its healing abilities, protection, purification, and enhancement of psychic abilities. The use of crystals and minerals in ancient Native American tribes varied widely across the different cultures and regions, each with its own traditions, beliefs, and practices. While specific customs and beliefs differed among the tribes, there are some common threads, some common themes and uses of crystals in Native American culture, particularly the integral role in the spiritual practices, serving as symbols of connection to the earth and the ancestors and the divine. Crystals and minerals were commonly used in Native American rituals and ceremonies to connect with the spirit world, seek guidance, and promote healing. They were often incorporated into prayer offerings, smudging ceremonies, sweat lodge rituals, and vision quests, among other sacred practices. These traditions continue to be honored and preserved by the indigenous communities today. Quartz crystals were commonly used by Native American tribes for spiritual purposes. They were believed to hold energy and were used in rituals, ceremonies, and healing practices. Quartz crystals were often placed on altars or used in medicine bundles as symbols of purity, clarity, and protection. I didn't get a picture of turquoise. Shoot, I'm sorry about that. Turquoise is highly valued by many Native American tribes for its vibrant blue-green color and spiritual significance. It was often used in jewelry, amulets, and ceremonial objects, symbolizing protection, healing, and connection to the natural world. Turquoise was also believed to have the power to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. Obsidian was used by some Native American tribes for its sharp edges and reflective properties. It was commonly used in tool making for arrowheads, knives, and other cutting implements. In addition to its practical uses, obsidian held spiritual significance and was sometimes used in rituals for protection and purification. Pipestone, which is also known as catalanite, was considered sacred by many Native American tribes, particularly those in the Plains region. It was used to carve ceremonial pipes, which were important symbols of peace, unity, and communication with the spirit world. Pipestone quarries, such as the one at Pipestone National Monument in Minnesota, were considered sacred sites and were carefully protected and respected by Native American communities, which is less so true today, hence why they have pipestone bricks now that you can get. Hematite, a shiny metallic mineral, was used by some Native American tribes for its grounding and protective properties. It was often worn as jewelry or carried as a talisman to promote strength, courage, and vitality. Hematite was also believed to have healing properties and was used in traditional medicine practices. Okay. The use of crystals and minerals in Aboriginal Australian culture dates back thousands of years and is deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs, cultural practices, and connection to the land. Many stories, which are passed down through oral tradition, feature crystals and minerals as important elements. These stories often explain the origins of the landscape, the creation of sacred sites, and the relationship between human, animals, and the natural world. Crystals may be depicted as gifts from ancestral beings or as a source of spiritual power and knowledge. Crystals and minerals are used in traditional Aboriginal healing practices to promote physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. They may be placed on the body or used in smoke rituals to cleanse and purify energy. Certain crystals are believed to have specific healing properties, such as promoting strength, clarity, and balance. Crystals and minerals are often incorporated into ceremonial objects such as carved stones, necklaces, and sculptures. These objects may be used in rituals to honor the ancestors, seek guidance from the spirit world, or celebrate important milestones and events within the community. Aboriginal culture places a strong emphasis on respecting and caring for the land, including its natural resources such as crystals and minerals. Traditional practices often involve seeking permission from the land and the ancestors before collecting or using crystals, and ensuring that their use is sustainable and in harmony with the natural environment. While specific customs and traditions vary among different Aboriginal groups across Australia, there are some common use crystals, including quartz crystals, which are widely found across Australia and have been used by the Aboriginal people for various purposes. They are often regarded as sacred objects and are believed to hold spiritual energy. Quartz crystals may be used in healing rituals, ceremonies, and tools for divination. They are also sometimes incorporated into artwork and ceremonial objects. The red ochre, a natural pigment derived from iron oxide, holds significant cultural and spiritual importance for many Aboriginal groups. It is used in ceremonial body painting, rock art, and as a medium for creating sacred objects. Red ochre is believed to symbolize the blood of the ancestors and is used in rituals to connect with the land and the dreaming, which is the ancestral beings who created the world.
That's cool. Those are beautiful.
Yeah. Similarly, in many ancient African tribes, crystals held significant cultural, spiritual, and medicinal value, and their use was deeply integrated into various aspects of daily life. While specific customs and beliefs varied among different tribes and regions across the African continent, they were often used as part of spiritual and healing practices. Crystals were believed to possess spiritual energy and were used in rituals, ceremonies, and divination practices to connect with the ancestors, the spirits of the land, and the divine. Crystals were commonly worn as amulets or talismans to ward off evil spirits, bring good fortune, and protect against harm. They were often incorporated into jewelry, clothing, or carried on a person as protective charms. Certain crystals, such as quartz and hematite, were particularly favored for their protective properties. They held symbolic significance in art and the symbolism of many African cultures. They were often depicted in different tribal symbols and decorative motifs as representation of spiritual power, natural beauty, and cultural identity. Crystals were also used as offerings in religious ceremonies and as gifts exchanged between tribes as symbols of friendship and alliances. Crystals were used in traditional African medicine systems for their believed healing properties. They were often ground into powders, infused into potions, or placed on the body to treat various ailments and promote health and well-being. Different crystals were believed to have specific medicinal properties, such as relieving pain, boosting energy, or purifying blood, as well as in ritual cleansing and purification ceremonies to remove negative energy and restore balance and harmony. They were sometimes placed in water or burned as incense during these rituals, which were performed to cleanse individuals' dwellings or sacred spaces of spiritual impurities. Quartz crystals were widely used by many African tribes for their versatility and believed spiritual properties. Clear quartz in particular was valued for its ability to amplify energy, promote clarity, and was often used in healing rituals, divination practices, and as protective talismans. Malachite, with its vibrant green color and swirling patterns, was highly prized by African tribes for its healing and protective properties. It was believed to promote physical health, emotional balance, and spiritual growth. And it was commonly used in jewelry, amulets, and ceremonial objects. Tiger's eye, with its golden brown color, was used by some African tribes for its grounding and protective qualities. It was believed to promote courage, confidence. I totally just lost my place.
That happens.
Courage, confidence, and prosperity, making it a popular choice for amulets and talismans worn for luck and protection. Agate, with its various colors and banding patterns, was valued by many African tribes for its calming and stabilizing properties, and was believed to promote balance, harmony, and protection against negative energies. Agate was often used in jewelry, decorative objects, and as talismans for good luck. Jasper, with its earthy colors and patterns, was commonly used by African tribes for its grounding and protective qualities. It was often carved into amulets, talismans, and ceremonial objects to ward off negative energy and promote physical, spiritual strength. And amber, which is fossilized tree resin, was treasured by some African tribes for its warm golden color and believed healing properties. It was also worn as jewelry or carried as a protective amulet to dispel negative energy, promote vitality, and bring good fortune. Let me start that again.
Ayurvedic. It's hard.
In Ayurvedic medicine, which originated in ancient India over 5,000 years ago, crystals and gemstones were believed to possess healing properties and were used to promote physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Crystals were considered to be conduits of energy, and their use was based on the principle of balancing the body's doshas and restoring harmony to the mind, body, and spirit. Belief in energy centers, known as the chakras, in Ayurvedic medicine recognizes the existence of these centers located along the body's subtle energy pathways, and each chakra is associated with a specific physical, emotional, and spiritual function. Crystals were used to balance and align the chakras by placing them on or around the body to facilitate the flow of energy. Similarly, gemstone therapy, known as Ratna Chikitsa in Sanskrit, which is a branch of Ayurvedic medicine dedicated to the use of gemstones and crystals for healing purposes, which were often prescribed by Ayurvedic practitioners based on the individual's unique constitution and imbalances. They could be worn as jewelry, placed on specific energy points, or used in elixirs for internal consumption. This also included the use of color therapy, which is closely related to the properties of gemstones and crystals. Different colors are believed to correspond to the specific doshas and chakras, and crystal of corresponding colors were used to balance these energies. Crystals and gemstones held spiritual significance in ancient India and were often used in religious rituals, ceremonies, and offerings to the gods and goddesses. They were believed to amplify prayers, enhance meditation practices, and facilitate spiritual connections. Some of the common crystals and gemstones that were valued in ancient India include the ruby, which was highly valued for its vibrant red color and its association with vitality, passion, and courage. It was believed to strengthen the heart and circulatory system and promote vitality and longevity. The prized for its rich green color and its association with love, compassion, and harmony. It was believed to enhance emotional well-being, promote spiritual growth, and bring prosperity. The diamond was considered the king of the gemstones and was highly revered for its brilliance and clarity. It was associated with purity, enlightenment, and divine grace. The diamond was also believed to bring clarity of the mind, dispel negative energy, and attract abundance. The sapphire, particularly the blue variety, was esteemed for its deep blue color and was associated with wisdom, truth, and spiritual insight, and was believed to enhance intuition, promote mental clarity, and protect against negative influences. And the pearl was treasured for its luminous appearance and was associated with purity, innocence, and emotional healing, and was believed to calm the mind, balance emotions, and promote inner peace and harmony.
Do you think that's 50% of marriages fail? They get that diamond ring and then they get clarity.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
You said that, I was like,
No,
I'm curious.
but that is an interesting
No,
theory.
it's men.
Yeah, exactly. No. Actually, it's kind of a fascinating thing if you dive a little bit into the like history of the diamond, which is supposed to be like super rare. Diamonds actually aren't that rare. It was a marketing campaign by a diamond company in the 50s to get people to buy diamonds, because before that, right, it was just a band, like a gold band. Everyone just got married with gold. And it was a huge marketing campaign that if your love was so rare, but diamonds actually are not that rare.
Wow.
So interesting. And also capitalism.
Yeah, we got a question. An aquamarine for a wedding band. What does that mean?
I
can't remember about aquamarine.
Interesting. Aquamarine.
I'll grab my crystal book. You continue. I'll be back.
Okay, yeah, I'm not exactly sure all the like the significant meanings behind aquamarine. I know it's March's birthstone. But I will move on and we will get back to you. Okay. By medieval Europe, from around the 5th to the 15th century, the use of crystals and gemstones was intertwined with various aspects of daily life, including medicine, spirituality, and superstition. Crystals and gemstones were often used in alchemical practices and medieval medicine. They were believed to possess healing properties and were used in remedies, potions, and poultices to treat various ailments. For example, powdered gemstones were sometimes ingested or applied topically to promote health and well-being. They were associated with astrological signs and planetary influences. They were used to create talismans and amulets believed to protect against negative energy, bring good fortune, and enhance specific qualities associated with each astrological sign. Crystals and gemstones were often used in religious ceremonies and rituals within medieval Christianity. They adorned sacred objects such as reliquaries, chalices, and crosses, symbolizing divine purity, enlightenment, and spiritual power. Crystals were also incorporated into religious art and architecture as decorative elements. Crystals and gemstones were surrounded by superstitions and folklore during the medieval times and were believed to possess magical powers that were used in rituals to ward off evil spirits, protect against witchcraft, and bring good luck. Certain gemstones were considered to be particularly potent for specific purposes, such as warding off nightmares or preventing poisoning. Lapidaries, which were the medieval texts that cataloged the properties and virtues of gemstones, provided guidance on the use of crystals and gemstones for various purposes. These texts included descriptions of each gemstone's appearance, medicinal properties, astrological correspondence, and the symbolic meanings, serving as valuable resources for practitioners. Royal and noble patronage often prized gemstones during medieval times and were said to be only for use in the clergy. They were often incorporated into crown jewels, scepters, and regalia as symbols of wealth, power, and divine favor. Gemstones were also exchanged as diplomatic gifts and used to demonstrate allegiances and prestige. During the witch hunts of the Middle Ages and early modern period, the 15th to 17th centuries, various practices associated with magic, including the use of crystals and gemstones, were often condemned and persecuted as witchcraft. People accused of witchcraft were sometimes found to possess crystals or other magical objects, leading to their persecution and sometimes even execution, which is why that still kind of exists today. That was also true of when Salem witch trials started happening. If you were found with rocks in your pockets or rocks or
That's
crystals,
why they took away pockets.
Yeah, you were a witch. So that stigma kind of has followed throughout time, even though for thousands and thousands of years before the Catholic Church came after women, crystals were revered in almost every single ancient culture that has a archaeological or textual history. And they are mentioned in religious texts, including the Bible and the Quran, which is interesting that then they also persecuted people for using crystals.
Double standards, weird.
I know. Oh, who would have thought? Over the last several decades, there has been a resurgence of the popularity of crystals, particularly within the New Age movement and alternative healing practices. Many individuals utilize crystals for meditation, energy work, and holistic healing modalities, including myself and Julie. So that about sums up the history that I have about crystals. I think it is super fascinating to me, and also is a good reminder to kind of be cautious about crystal consumption. Keep in mind the reverence that our ancestors, regardless of where your ancestors came from, had for crystals, in that it wasn't easy for them to acquire, and it's super easy for us to acquire them. But when you are collecting crystals at a point as a whole of humanity, because they're so popular right now, that it's starting to do more damage to the planet than not, I think it becomes a little bit counterproductive in that way. All right. Any other thoughts on the history?
I want to answer the Aquamarine question.
Yeah.
Because I found two resources. An Aquamarine jewelry is good to carry when communication is important with a loved one. So compassionate communication with a loved one. So that's ideal. And then promotes safe travels, helps with phobias, lessens anxiety and fear, promotes speaking the truth, cleanses and strengthens the aura, overcomes judgment, and aids in calming and relieving stress. And then, compassion, and keeps you calm when you need to communicate clearly. Which that's awesome. Think that's a pretty great one for a wedding ring.
Yeah, totally. Okay. I'm just going to spit out some facts about the amethyst, and then we can talk about it. Amethyst is a well-known and widely loved variety of quartz, prized for its beautiful purple color and metaphysical properties. Amethyst typically ranges in color from pale lilac to deep purple, with variations in hue depending on factors such as the presence of trace elements and the intensity of heat treatment. Its color can be attributed to the presence of iron impurities within the quartz crystal lattice. Amethyst often forms in geodes or as clusters of prismatic crystals. Throughout history, amethyst has been associated with various symbolic meanings and myths. In ancient Greek mythology, we kind of already talked about that it was associated with spiritual protection and to help people not get drunk, I guess. Amethyst is often regarded as a stone of spiritual protection and purification. It is believed to cleanse negative energies, promote mental clarity, and enhance spiritual awareness. Amethyst is commonly used in meditation practices to quiet the mind, deepen intuition, and facilitate connection with higher consciousness. In alternative healing practices, amethyst is believed to have a range of physical and emotional healing properties. It is thought to alleviate stress and anxiety, soothe emotional trauma, and promote restful sleep. Amethyst is also associated with the crown chakra, making it useful for the crown or third eye chakra, making it useful for spiritual healing and alignment. Amethyst is widely used in jewelry, often set into rings, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, etc. It is for its attractive color and affordability, it makes it a popular choice for both fine jewelry and more casual pieces. Beyond jewelry, amethyst is also used in decorative objects such as carvings, spheres, geode formations, candle holders, clusters, prized for its natural beauty and metaphysical properties. Amethyst is found in various locations around the world, including Brazil, Uruguay, Zambia, Russia, and the United States. Some of the most notable sources of high-quality amethyst include the Anahai mine in Bolivia, the Four Peaks mine in Arizona, and the Artigas mine in Uruguay.
Next time we do tequila shots, we're bringing amethyst.
Yeah.
Let's just see.
I think that's so fascinating. I wonder, I never had heard that part of the history of it until I was doing kind of this research. I do know that quite a few crystal names are rooted in Greek, but I didn't realize that that's what amethyst or amethystos meant, was not drunken. So that's interesting. And it's also interesting then that it's correspondence to the crown chakra and the third eye, like to keep you from
that makes sense.
being drunk, you know?
Yeah, we're going to have to test theory. Tomorrow?
Wait, you cut out.
Is probably with good reason. I was suggesting tequila shots tomorrow with amethyst.
Oh.
I got a 6 a.m. flight to catch on Wednesday, so that would not be good for anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so interesting. Thank you for sharing all of that. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I love a good crystal, and I love a good history of crystals and the stories that they tell. You know, like sometimes I think about how old crystals are, and if some ancient person held the crystal that I'm holding before me, you know.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Danny's
in for testing tomorrow.
2-drink Danny.
So funny. Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was amazing, and I can't wait for the next one. So exciting.
Yeah, the next one will be cool. The science behind crystals is super cool. And if you are gonna watch with us live, and you have 2 crystal quartz, they can be small, bring them with you because we're gonna do a little experiment. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it on camera. I'm gonna test beforehand, but I'm not sure how well it will show up on camera. But we're gonna do a little experiment with clear quartz, so it'll be fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, awesome. Well, if anyone's watching and you want to come hang out with us tomorrow, we have a full moon. I want to say ritual, but like Zoom tomorrow that will be informative and nice to like community. And tomorrow is the Scorpio pink moon, which is such a deceptive name for this moon.
Yes, it is.
Those damn Scorpios are deceptive. Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Megan. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys tomorrow and next week.
Yeah. Bye.